Kathy Woodward, I'm 56, four kids, 16, two boys, 16 and 20, and twin girls that are 23. And I don't know, I've been pretty active most of my life. I was a runner I call it in my 40s. That was my running days, marathons, all of those. So I always felt like I was in really good shape. It's been November a year ago. I tore my rotator cuff, my right shoulder, had a little bit of a fall, and anyway, confirmed it was torn. So January till about June of last year, I was in PT for that. And then I ran a race without training. Kind of dumb of me, but I thought I'm a runner, I can do this, but my body, it was a 10-mile race, but in June. And after that, my body said, what were you thinking? And I was in severe sciatic pain. So I went back to PT and then I graduated in September. My lower back pain, it was excruciating. Never want to go back to that. And I started your program September 9th. And I've been following you for a while and I just needed to do something. And I knew I needed strength training. And I was also diagnosed in January, or I had a bone density and I have osteopenia. And so of course, over a year now, I've been on this journey to try to do strength training and like my bone health. And then it just kind of all came together once I started you and then said, oh, I just needed, I was in a rut and I didn't know what to do. And I needed something, some guidance. The whole lifestyle change is what I really felt I needed. And I needed someone to push me along. And
So
that's,
I love that. I,
yeah.
I love that you're talking about like a lifestyle change. What are your biggest wins since starting the program?
Energy was like within 1 week. My daughter, one of my twins, was like, Mom, how do you feel? And I was like, you've been doing this for a week. I was doing the strength training, but the walking 1 week, I said, I have more energy. And that was huge for me because she's like, well, you seem happier. And then of course she backtracked. I mean, not like you weren't happy. I was like, I know what you mean. I had some mild depression, which I've probably had all my life, anxiety, but feeling stronger. My pain was gone. Shoulder is here and there, but that's actually much better. But my whole sciatic, all of that just went away. And so those were really huge. The physical part was really huge, and the emotional, mental. I did feel happier. I did feel more energy, which made me feel like kind of my kids saw it. That was important for me to see that mom is actually really serious and she's like, you know, doing something to take care of herself. So
Yeah, that is really, really like a big deal that your kids noticed like right away. Tell us some, like, what were you kind of skeptical about? Did you have any fears or doubts before you started?
I just wasn't sure what it all entailed. And I didn't think of it as a lifestyle change when I first started. But everything you do, like I know how important sleep is, and I still have more to do. So sleep is definitely something I need to work on. Um, I feel I've come a long way, but I still feel I have more to go because I just want to do better. But I didn't really feel skeptical like it wouldn't work. I just didn't know the benefits of what I didn't know I'd have this kind of transformation. So maybe I was a little skeptical, like, I don't know if I'm gonna, I mean, I have biceps now. I just have muscles that I didn't know were like there.
Were there any foods that you couldn't eat or you can't eat on this journey? Was there like a list of foods you can't eat? Did we ever make you feel guilty? Was that anything?
No, that's honestly what I've told, different people, whether it's friends or relatives. And I'm like, what I love, I don't like to call this a diet at all. Like, yeah, I had some calorie restriction, some deficit or whatever, but I never felt hungry. I ate what I wanted. And I'm like, that's why I kept saying, this isn't really a diet. This is like lifestyle change. I'm eating everything I want, but I learned more about, I did buy a food scale. Felt a little weird because I know I didn't have a huge amount of the weight loss, but that I know some others have. And my husband's like, you really buying that? And I'm like, I want to do this right. And I want results. So that was hard for me to like, I've never tracked my food. So it's been a learning process, but I'm like, oh, I can eat pizza. Now I have tried to make better choices. Like I'll order veggie, but I'll still eat, some meats too. I didn't, yeah, I just feel like I'm literally eating what I want to eat. I just have to do the portion sizes. I'm learning more about that. I mean, in the past I would have had maybe, my mom's favorite dish, favorite dish my mom makes, sour cream enchiladas. I would have had a lot bigger, but when I waited, I'm like, okay, I'll eat this. And I was content. I didn't, normally I would have eaten more and then bloated and been uncomfortable.
What changes in your life have you made throughout, like based on participating in this program?
Well, I did talk about the physical part. That's changed. Definitely, I do get the winter blues, so that has helped a lot. So I feel more positive about going through this winter, especially with the cold we have right now. But just my husband has been working out as well. And we were just saying the other day how wow we can like bend over, pick up things, reach things, like those everyday things that you don't think of, but as you age, like can be hard. That's definitely changes where, especially all the strength training I've done, I'm like, wow, I can like do squats and not like, they're hard, but like they're getting easier in some ways. And I don't know, I'm sharing the journey with my kids. They all know I'm doing this program. So I feel my son's been asking, my 20-year-old from college we've gone to the gym about 4 times now, but he is wanting to get himself. So I just feel it's kind of bleeding into like my family and seeing the benefits, and it's making them want to also be physically fit.
Yeah, it's I always say like the mom is the center, right? So, walk the walk, talk the talk, and walk the walk, show them. What is the coaching experience like as far as communication?
The communication has been great. I guess at first I was like, I don't know how much I'm supposed to ask you guys or talk to, and like I know, but you guys get back so quickly. Um, and the just I I'm an affirmation person. I don't know, like if
Me
people
too.
have read love languages, but I've taken that test and that is mine is affirmation. So that just helps. Accountability. I'm like, I love the accountability, but I kind of laugh at it. I'm like, oh, I have to do my homework, but I feel like it. I call it like my home. I have to fill that out, but it makes me reflect on my whole week, and so that is actually really good because I'm like, oh, I didn't do so good on this, but you guys have always been really positive and communicating very quickly. And like when I overworked my shoulder in one of the exercises, Sarah gave me advice on it. And then I went, I was able to go in person to her so she could show me some stuff too. But just, modifying things, communication is just, you guys have been great.
Yeah. And I like how you talked about like going, and talking with Sarah. Do you feel like this is personalized to you?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I don't feel like it's just a general, like you're just answering a question like for anyone. It's always more geared towards the individual and very specific to the person. So, I mean, I feel like you're just like my own coaches, but I know you're like everybody's coach.
What great things were you not expecting coming in?
So I just felt like, wow, and it was probably about 3 years. It was the highest I've ever been, like not including the pregnancies, but and I just didn't like it. I didn't feel comfortable. And I didn't know if I would, I was like, will I lose the weight? Like, is this really going to work? Like the eating and the strength training? Cause running was always my way. I used to say, I run so I can eat. I always kind of joked about it, but I was pretty thin when I look back at those pictures but I didn't do strength training. When I look back at that, I'm like, I wasn't strong. And that's not where I want to get again. I don't want to be, as I don't know, you call it like skinny fat. I was like, I don't want to be that way. That's not healthy. But I just still wasn't sure. Am I gonna all these things? Is this really gonna work, or is this gonna take long? Am I gonna be able to stick with it? Because sometimes I get really gung ho about something and then I give up and it'll, with not working out per se, but anything in life. So I wasn't sure. I was like, if this is gonna work, but it 100% has really changed a lot for me.
What do you think it was that made it work for you?
Um, just having you, I definitely needed the coaching. Having literally the accountability, I think is a really big thing, like filling the form, I call it like a reflection form on my week. Yeah, the Facebook group is really supportive as well as you guys.
Group is I cannot believe how strong our group is. It is on fire. What was the first thing you noticed when your body was changing?
I think it was for me more gradual. So when I did like the call with Sarah and she was showing me like my progress pictures comparison and she's like, what do you see? And I'm like, I don't know. And then until she pointed out, I'm like, oh, then I could visually see it. But looking at it at first, I'm like, and I guess there's a change. But then she like, look at your abs, look at your legs. I'm like, oh yeah, there is a change. So I think the progress pictures help each time I've done them. So I feel like it has been a gradual change, but my arms have always got in shape a lot faster than I would say my lower part of my body. So when I started seeing my arms and I'm like, oh, I can see the definition. That was inspiring because I knew the other stuff would come, but just take longer.
We love the progress pictures for people because we can directly show you, and also the scale, but the progress pictures fitting to clothes, just visually, there's so many factors that go into the change, the transformation. So what would you say to a woman kind of considering joining our program, but they're worried to make the investment?
I mean, it's just important. I mean, I paid so much money for PT, like my insurance isn't the greatest. So I mean, that was a lot. It was hard at first. I was like, oh, can I do this? But I thought, okay, I've joined gyms over the years and I didn't go and I was still paying for the membership, like, all these different things. And I just felt I'm worth the investment and I wanted to be healthy. I want to hike the Appalachian Trail. Like there's things I want to do in my 70s. So it was worth the investment. I say do it, give it a try. I mean, it it was well worth it. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, the money sometimes at first is like you think of that, but you got to start thinking of who's important. Like I want to be there for my kids and grandkids someday. I want to be active with them. So I thought I'm worth the investment. So I
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah. And how do you feel like going through this experience has changed your life? Like, how do you feel going into the future now while doing this?
I feel I'm going to be more physically fit to do. I love hiking. I've slept out on the Appalachian Trail like 3 nights. I've done that a couple of summers, and I want to be able to do more of that in the future. And I feel like by doing this, getting myself more physically fit and just the whole lifestyle change, I feel like I will be able to. I was an older parent, so by the time my kids have grandkids, I will be that older grandparent. Well, I want to still be able to be active with my grandkids someday.
Oh, that is amazing. Honestly, people, most people do it, try it, and it's too late because you're going to invest in your health either way. So
Yeah.
I really want to congratulate you for doing everything that you're doing, for accomplishing all your goals, for being a role model to your kid. Thank you so much